the dark powers of Cthulhu and other ancient creatures begin to threaten humanity. Will you let yourself be swept away by this madness? In this video, I will show you new expansion for Nanty Narking board game, The Rise of Cthulhu, and in this material I will tell you how to play on this board game with it.
You already know the London board from the base game Nanty Narking. So on the side, add the Doomsday track and deploy the Grenadiers. Right next to it lays the previously shuffled deck of event cards. On the side of the board, create a track of cards and the assignate miniatures of the Elder Ones. Each of the Elder Ones has its own unique abilities and characteristics described on the card. After that, prepare a deck of action cards. Place the purple cards on the bottom and the yellow cards on the top of this stack. Then each player draws 5 cards from this deck. Above that, each player has 20 pawns of their agents and 6 buildings miniatures with cards. Players place the pawns of their agents in the East End, Chelsea, and the city on the London game board. Finally, each player receives 1 objective card each. He keeps it secret until the conditions are met or the game is over. Before starting the game, familiarize yourself with the special ability described on your character's board. You have to know that you can use it in the game and it's not an action. At the end setup section, reveal 3 cards from the deck of action cards so that they are visible to all players. Now you are ready to start the game. The players take turns clockwise until one of the players fulfills the victory conditions, realize his objective card. On the objective cards, there are mostly area control conditions. You control an area if you have more of your playing pieces in it, agents, Elder Ones and buildings, than each other player. You must also have more pieces there than the total number of new citizens. You cannot control an area that contains 1 or more Grenadiers. The presence of trouble marker does not affect the control of an area. If the game ends due to a player being unable to refill their hand because the action card deck is empty, or the insanity marker reaching level 13 on the Doomsday track, and no one has the solve objective card, then the winner is the player with the most points. So, how do you calculate the points? Well, each agent on the board is worth 5 points. Each controlled Elder One is worth 5 times its health points. Each building is worth as many points as its monetary cost. And each coin in your hand is worth 1 point. If you have the Mr. Merryweather card or the City and Suburban Bank card, then you must pay back the amount noted on the card. If you cannot, then you lose 15 points. Ties in this board game are won by the tying player with the highest value building on the board. Now see what possible actions you have to perform. In a player's turn, each player chooses 1 of the action cards to play. He does whatever is on the card. He may have the option to play another card right away. After you have finished playing cards, if you have less than 5 cards in your hand, draw cards from the draw deck to the limit of your hand. So during your turn, you can draw more cards than the size of your hand. You do not have to discard the excess cards. As you can see, each action card has 1 or more symbols in the upper left corner. These symbols tell you which actions you can do and in which order, from top to bottom. When you play an action card, you may do some, none, or all of the actions indicated. The only action that you must perform is the insanity action. The rest actions you can perform are place or move a minion, summon, assassination, take money, scroll, play another card, interrupt, and place a building. As I said a moment ago, insanity is the only mandatory action. This action allows you to advance the insanity marker on the Doomsday track by 1. If the marker is placed in a space containing a grenadier, roll a die and immediately place a grenadier miniature in a corresponding area. If the marker is placed in a space with bird symbol, draw the top card from the random event deck and apply its effect. The action of placing a minion is to put any of your agents or the miniature of the Elder One on the map board of London. If you already have some agents on the board, you can move one of them to an adjacent area as part of this action. Whenever you place or move a pawn into an area that already has at least 1 pawn, you must place a trouble marker in that area if it does not already have one. An area can only contain 1 trouble marker. As soon as a pawn is moved or removed from an area, remove also trouble marker from that area. Placing a building in an area does not cause trouble. In this board game, there are 2 main effects of trouble. First, you can only assassinate a minion in an area with trouble. Second, you cannot build a building in an area with trouble marker. The summoning action consists of a dice roll. If the modified result is equal to or less than the current instanti level, select an available Elder One from the pool, take the corresponding card and place his miniature on the board in an area with at least 1 of your minions. You can modify the result of dice by paying money to the bank in an amount equal to the summoned Elder's One health point multiplied by any missing number. Once you successfully summon an Elder One, it becomes 1 of your minions and you can move them just like any other of your minions. Each Elder One has a certain health point value and a special ability described on its card. You can use the special ability once per turn and it doesn't not count as an action. But remember that you can have a maximum of 2 Elder Ones as your minions. Assassination action allows you to remove 1 pawn of your choice, but of course not your own minion or grenadier, from an area with a trouble marker. This also removes the trouble marker from that area. You can also neutralize an Elder One by this action, and each played skull symbol result in 1 hit. In addition, you can sacrifice your minions from the area with the attacked Elder One, and each removed own agent results in 1 hit. If you decide to sacrifice your Elder One, that results in hits equal its health point value. If the number of hits is equal to the health point value of the Elder One, it's removed from the board. Always removed agents are placed back in player's area. Removed Elder Ones are placed back to the pool, and the current owners loses control over it. During the game, other players can take control over it, so they might be summoned again. Simple action take money consists to take the amount of money shown in a gold circle in a card from the bank. If you have on the action card this symbol, perform the action described in the text at the bottom of that card. That symbol on the action card allows you to play another card from your hand. Each card with this symbol allows you to play another card. So playing a series of cards is possible and allowed. You also can play an interrupt at any time, even if it's not your turn. most interrupt cards protect you from harmful effects. For example, if any opponent tried to remove one of your minions, you could play the interrupt card to stop them. The interrupt must be played promptly in reaction before play continues. If you forget to use an interrupt to cancel an opponent's action, you cannot go back in time to play the card retroactively. And the last action is place a building. This action allows you to place one of your buildings in an area where you have a minion. The area cannot already have a building or a trouble marker. The cost of placing the building is shown in the area and on the matching building card. So you pay this cost to the bank. After that, take the matching building card and place the card in front of you face up. If for any reason your building is removed later, then you must return the building card to your reserve. Remember that you can have up to 6 buildings on the board. If you already have 6 buildings on the board, then you can move one from a different area to the selected area. Each building grants you a particular ability. In most cases, you can use this ability once per turn, and you may choose when you use it during your turn. You cannot use a building card's ability in the same turn that you gain it. Once per turn, you can place one of your minions in the area with your tenement. Once per turn, you can place one trouble marker in the area with your office or an adjacent area. Once per turn, all players with minions in the area with your hotel must pay you £1 for each of their minions there. Once per turn, you can pay £3 to place one of your minions in the area with your mansion or an adjacent area. Once per turn, you can discard one action card and take £2 from the bank. Once per turn, you can take £4 from the bank. And finally, you have to know that in this board game, many random events affect buildings. So, for example, flood. Roll the dice twice to determine which area are at risk. Another random event is fire. Roll the dice to determine where the fire happens. If there is a building in that area, remove it, and then roll the die again. If the area rolled is adjacent to the previous area and it has a building, then the fire spreads. Remove that building too. Continue rolling this way until an area is rolled which does not contain a building or which is not adjacent to the previous area rolled. Now, already know all the rules of the Rise of Cthulhu expansion to Nanty Narking board game. So get ready to quickly complete your objective before other players do.
That's all for me today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you like it. If so, it will be really great if you leave a like, and if you have some questions about this new expansion, about this board game, the comment section below is for your disposal. See you soon in next video. Bye!